there is an inception that there is a drug substance or there is for that purpose any chemical entity which can be used as a drug, the concept of stability starts from the very first day. Before it is approved as a drug in clinical, for the purposes of getting even the clinical trial, the considerations of the stability have to be there and a data has to be achieved. So stability is required in drug development, it is required in formulation development, it is also required for having the data of safety and efficacy for marketing approvals, assignment of expiry dates and registration set, to ensure quality in production after marketing approval, and the last one is to support site or other changes to the product. What present in our Indian or even in the state scenario is that we have a Drugs and Cosmetics Act, we have a Schedule T where the life period is prescribed, and a small manufacturer is only following Schedule T while assigning an expiry date to the product. He doesn't have any data which is required for him to say that whatever expiry date which has been given on the label, his product is actually stable till that date. What he is believing in is only the period of expiry which is given in Schedule T. But let me remind you that it is the maximum period which is prescribed in Schedule T. Every manufacturer has to see whether he is able to give a product of that expiry date, or his product is failing or is not complying till the last date of the expiry or the shelf life, and therefore the study is important and he has not to only follow Schedule T, but he has to follow Schedule T in the proper perspective. The importance of this study is assurance of quality during entire shelf life in respect of identity, strength, purity, and assure safety and efficacy. Regulatory provisions as far as the stability study go, they are prescribed in Appendix 9 to Schedule Y. Schedule Y, as you all know, relates to the new drugs. As far as the Indian regulations go, it is mandatory for submitting this data before the Drug Controller General India for obtaining the drug approval. Even now it is essential for obtaining the approval of fixed dose combination that a manufacturer wants to propose either for the first time or till the expiry of period of 4 years for a new fixed dose combination. In addition to that, there is one most important regulatory provision that is given in the Rule 71.6 and 76.7 of the Drugs and Cosmetic Rules, which compels or which makes it mandatory for the manufacturer to give a data or a statement before the state licensing authority that the patent or proprietary medicines which he is producing or is going to produce is stable. Now, unless he has a data and his data of his own, how he will be able to give a justification that the product is stable? And therefore, the stability study or this exercise is not only limited to the drug approval for the first time, but it is important, it is essential even for every manufacturer who is even intending to manufacture a patent or proprietary medicine of a long standing. Because ultimately it is the liability of the manufacturer for quality, and quality of the product he has to himself establish and say that okay, this is the period till which my product will comply with the regulatory requirements. And therefore, under the regulatory provisions, the manufacturer should have a stability study program in the organization. He should have proper standard operating procedures for conducting these stability studies, and he must have a stringent release specification. That is one thing which is one way or the other related to the stability of the program. There are certain cases which even I have seen where the stability data was produced before me for obtaining a permission for a patent proprietary medicine, and what I observed is that at the onset of only at 0 level or say within a 1 month, the assay was 99% or even lower. For vitamin preparation, for the first time or 0 hour analysis that we say, the percentage of the active ingredient which was recorded was 99%. Now when the product is time of just release, if it is of 99% and a product like vitamin, how that particular product can be said to be stable? This is a point of consideration. And therefore, although these provisions in the Drugs and Cosmetic Act or for the any regulation, there are certain maximum and minimum limits that are given in the law, but while introducing the product in the market, the manufacturer's liability is to put certain stringent release specifications, and on the basis of these stringent release specifications, it may be possible for him to maintain the quality of the product till the entire shelf life of the product. Now these studies, they should include the properties susceptible to change for physical, chemical, microbiological or sometimes even biological products. The influence of temperature, humidity and light on the product, that is to be studied. And the most important thing which is always talked about is the selection of the stability indicating analytical method. I think I may not be able to cite any example, but still in present day when the HPLC and some these sophisticated type of techniques are available, it may not be so difficult, but in spite of that, while carrying out the stability study, it has to be seen that the analytical method which has been employed is really stability indicating. Now, I have just tried to make a schedule out of the clarifications which have been issued by the Drug Controller General India as to what kind of schedules are to be there for various products. For products which are general storage, long term minimum 12 months to real life, it is 30, 65 and RH plus minus 5, accelerated stability study for 6 months, storage in refrigerator, long term 12 months, accelerated 6 months, 25 degrees. Storage in refrigerator, of course, long time, and storage below minus 20 degrees, it is to be case by case basis. Because these schedules, they are now prescribed in the Schedule Y to the Drugs and Cosmetics rules. Whatever WHO guidelines or ICH guidelines are there, unless and until it has been brought or it has to be brought within the regulatory scenario, it cannot be implemented, and therefore at present whatever is to be followed, in my opinion, is what is prescribed in the law. Then in the regulation, pilot scale batch has not been defined, but now it has been clarified in Indian regulation that it should be a batch of API or API 1/10 of the production scale. For tablets or capsules, whichever is larger, any deviation, it needs proper justification. For oral liquid topical sterile preparation, it is 1/10 of the production scale, and then it is a matter of to be proved that the product which will be produced on the commercial scale and the one which is at the pilot scale, the simulation has to be justified in respect of equipment, procedure and processes. Selection of batches, whatever presently asked by the Drug Controller General India is for 3 batches, pilot batches, 3 batches for FPP, 2 can be pilot and 1 can be a small batch. For manufacturing processes, the representative of commercial production justify in respect of process, equipments and procedures. This simulation has to be there. The quality and specification should not change, and there is a statement or a stability commitment that has to be given for the post-approval study, and that is for the 3 batches. Significant change is also defined now, has been clarified by the regulatory authority in India, and that is API, any failure to meet the specification in finished products, 5% change in assay from initial value, or failure to meet the acceptance criteria for potency when using biological or immunological process. As Dr. Saranjit Singh said earlier in his remarks that for multivitamin preparations the other values may be applied, and yes, the regulatory scenario in India has taken it into account, and that is there in the guidelines which have been prescribed. Any degradation product exceeding its acceptance criteria, failure to meet acceptance criteria like appearance, physical attributes and functionality tests, this all whatever has been prescribed now in India is more or less the same with the ICH or the WHO has prescribed in their guidelines. But yes, of course, the regulators in India have also started issuing such clarifications, and it is a welcome step, and the manufacturers should understand them and try to implement it in true spirits. Regulatory observations. What are the deviations which are observed while analyzing or scrutiny? The first is non-carrying out of stability study, not following any proper SOP. This is also one of the observations. In Schedule M, in under the quality control section, every manufacturer is expected to have a stability program. He should carry out stability study, but it is found in many of the cases the stability study has not at all been carried out. This is found in the investigation which is carried out in case of not of standard quality cases. So it is not only thing, of course it is a very good thing that manufacturer does some stability study at the time of getting approval, but no, he has to do it ongoing study before putting it in the market, and even after putting it in the market, he has to see that the product is stable. But there are manufacturers in the state who are not at all doing the stability study, or if at all the stability study is done in one form or the other, it is not as per the proper guidelines. There is a lack of complete description of materials, space and conditions and methods. Everything has to be properly described in the protocol so that whenever it is submitted before a regulatory authority for checking, all the things are really being described there well, and then no critical observation is there or some failure to use stability indicating analytical techniques that can be avoided by validation, but there is no document of validation of the analytical method that is being submitted. Then there is a failure to perform an analytical determination at the outset. They have not started the stability study right from the time zero, or they have not studied the stability study or not carried out stability study on the adequate number of the test samples. There are instances where they have either overreached or they have really failed to fit the results of the stability study. Okay, the stability studies are important, they are carried out, but at the same time the most important thing is after doing the study, it has to be properly evaluated. Unless the stability is evaluated in its true sense and with the proper objective, you may not be able to achieve and assign a proper shelf life to the product, and therefore conclusions have to be done very carefully. There are certain cases in the stability studies that it is near approaching, or even it has been found that at the verge of the expiry period of say 12 months or 4 months, the samples are not complying with the final prescribed limits. So these are certain observations which are there in the regulatory, and these observations are found. Basically, there are two types of agencies. One is a foreign agency which are doing audit, but in our regulatory scenario, whatever is happening is only a kind of an inspection that is being done. But of course, the audit is carried out in case of not of standard quality drugs. So, and whenever there is an investigation in the not of standard quality drugs, or whenever a manufacturer is asked to submit his explanation as to why his product has failed, my observation as a regulator, nobody in the state has ever said that no sir, I have studied the stability of my product, I am very sure that my product cannot fail. There is nothing which comes in the replies which is submitted, there is no documentary evidence, there is no study, and that is the real failure, because we are not doing audit, but the external agencies are doing audit. But it doesn't mean that the manufacturer should not do the audit himself. He should really understand the product before he puts it in the market, give a proper assessed shelf life to the product, which will help the manufacturer himself as well as the country to put a proper name in the international commerce that whatever products which the Indian manufacturers are producing today and marketing, they are being produced after a proper study. I think I conclude my presentation here. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to stand before the eminent audience here. Thank you very much.
And overall activity of Thermolar.